At Lowe's, we're your go-to for great gardening values every day. That's why we've lowered our price on select bagged mulch, now starting at just $2.88 a bag. Mulch helps prevent weeds and retains moisture, and when you put it down around trees, shrubs, and flower beds, you'll see how beautiful it makes your outdoor space, just in time to welcome back family and friends. Shop online and pick up in store. Lowe's, home to the best part of summer. Selection and product availability vary by location. While supplies last, U.S. only. Excludes Alaska and Hawaii.
The following is a Hoop Ball presentation.
Good morning, Hoop Ballers, and welcome to another edition of Hoop Balls DFS today. This is your Thursday, June 18th edition. I am your host, Santino Cacone. I'm here to break down this wonderful showdown slate for you guys. We have quite a few showdowns coming in. This one is Game 6 of the Milwaukee Bucks, the Brooklyn Nets. I'm sure you are all well aware of what happened in the last game. Masterful performance, an epic kind of, maybe not epic collapse, but a big collapse, and an epic performance, I should say. But before we get into that, I do want to give a quick shout out over to our guys at MyBookie, simply the best sports book around. It's as simple as signing up, entering the promo code HoopBall, and placing your bet, and cashing out whenever you would like to. They pay very quickly, and MyBookie has a fully fledged casino platform on top of all the sports betting that you want. But in that fully fledged casino platform, they have table games, they have slots, they have tournament table games, all types of stuff, you name it, live dealers and everything, all at your fingertips. So if you don't have a local casino, or you just don't feel like going, or whatever the case may be, you have a fully fledged casino platform at the push of a button, or a few buttons, if you're playing. But it's fantastic. And again, you get, if you do enter the promo code HoopBall upon signing up, you get 50% off of your first, 50% your first deposit. Oh, my bad. Your first deposit matched halfway up to $1,000. So if you put in $1,000, you will get an extra $500 to play with. It's that simple, and it's that awesome. I also want to give a quick shout out over to our guys at Manscaped, the #1 men's below the waist grooming out there. And with Father's Day coming up, what better gift to give than something from Manscaped? And now they have the Lawnmower 4.0. I myself have the Lawnmower 3.0. It's fantastic. I have the Perfect Package 3.0, but we got new product just recently released from them. So what better time to hop on that now? It comes with obviously, I was mentioning it, the Lawnmower 4.0 now, and all the other stuff like Crop Reviver, Crop Retriever, everything you can think of. And it is very affordable. And it is called the Lawnmower 4.0 and Ultra Smooth Package. If you want to sign up, get that. All you have to do is put the promo code HoopBall20 when you're checking out, and you get 20% off and free shipping. Again, 20% off and free shipping with the promo code HoopBall20. And I do recommend the brand new Lawnmower 4.0 and Ultra Smooth Package. It comes with crop shaver, crop gel, crop exfoliator, and all the other stuff I mentioned. Fantastic purchase. All right, guys, let's jump right into this. This one should be very quick. We just have the Game 6 of the the Brooklyn Nets at the Milwaukee Bucks. Now, we have a 3.5 Milwaukee Bucks. They are 3.5-point home favorites, and the total is 220.5. On the injury report, we just have the standard guys that we know of. We'll start with the Nets. We have Kyrie Irving is out and Spencer Dinwiddie is out. And the Milwaukee Bucks have Jordan Nwora and Dante DiVincenzo as out. That means James Harden will be playing. That means Kevin Durant will be playing. Let's get into it. But we'll start with the Nets. And there's pretty much only a couple guys here. If you're looking at captain spot, obviously Kevin Durant is one of them. The guy just had one of the most epic playoff performances I've ever seen. Shot 16 of 23 from the field, nearly 70% from the field, 49 points, 17 rebounds, 10 assists, and he was just, there are no words. Absolutely incredible on both sides of the ball, played every single second of the game. Coming off an Achilles injury, I didn't expect him to fall. I expected him to be similar, or the exact same Kevin Durant that we come to love, but he actually looks better. He's been looking better than he's ever looked, and that's crazy to think of. But Durant is definitely an option, and probably the option for captain. James Harden, I'm really not going to play him. Somehow he played 46 minutes in the last game. Somehow he was the second most. He saw the second most time on the floor between both teams, which, again, I don't know how that happened. But he only shot 1 of 10 from the field, 0 of 8 from 3. He had 8 assists, six boards, 5 points, but he just didn't look right. He was pretty much playing on one leg. The entire game wasn't attacking like he normally does. As you can tell, 8 of his 10 field goal attempts were from 3. But
At Lowe's, we're your go-to for great gardening values every day. That's why we've lowered our price on select bagged mulch, now starting at just $2.88 a bag. Mulch helps prevent weeds and retains moisture, and when you put it down around trees, shrubs, and flower beds, you'll see how beautiful it makes your outdoor space. Just in time to welcome back family and friends. Shop online and pick up in store. Lowe's, home to the best part of summer. Selection and product availability vary by location. While supplies last, U.S. only. Excludes Alaska and Hawaii.
yeah, he just looked off, and I'm not going to be paying that absurd or that big of a price tag for him. I'd rather just get Durant, even though Durant is a little scary just because we don't know how he's going to bounce back playing every single second just last night. So we'll see exactly how that happens. But I'm going to have one of these guys in there, and I prefer Durant because Harden just did not look healthy. Kudos to him for giving it playing all those minutes, and that was an appreciated storyline of the night because of Kevin Durant's heroics and epic performance. But James Harden, yes, he didn't have a great stat sheet, but him just playing 46 minutes more than Giannis, more than Middleton, more than Drew Holiday, more than everybody else sans Durant on one leg, because that hammy was clearly bad, was just that's also super impressive and should not be taken for granted. But I'm not going to be playing him in DFS. So the rest of the people on the Nets that I'm looking at, Blake Griffin has been playing very well lately. I probably won't be putting him in my captain spot. I want one of Durant or the Bucks that we'll get to later. But Blake Griffin's been playing rock solid lately. I think he should make some lineups here. Jeff Green, again, he was one of the few, the only player pretty much outside Durant that was getting buckets last game for the Nets. In the game before that, his first game back in a couple of weeks, he played 27 minutes. Last game, he played 35 minutes. So he's getting the minutes. If he's going to get those minutes at only 4,800 as your util spot, sign me up, because we are not going to be finding that on the rest of this slate or showdown slate. Landry Shamet, 3,200. I don't mind throwing him in there if I need to. He played 28 minutes in the last one. And if he's playing around 20, again, only $3,200 for your utility spot. We're going to need some of those bargains here, and I would like to do that again. Those are probably the few guys that I like the most. Durant, Blake Griffin, solid. Jeff Green and Shamet are rock solid. I think Jeff Green's going to pretty much make everybody's lineup. And, yeah, those are the guys that I'm throwing in there for the majority. We'll see exactly what happens because, again, guys, always remember this is a first look podcast. We usually do these the night before, if not super early in the morning. So a lot of things changed. And if you were paying attention on Wednesday, pretty much the entire playoff started changing. Kawhi Leonard possibly has a torn ACL. Chris Paul caught COVID. A couple coaches got fired. cetera, et cetera. It turned crazy here. So again, keep in mind that this is a first look podcast and things do change. I mean, last game, myself and Will were on this game in particular, and we had no idea James Harden was going to be playing in this one. It just didn't seem like a possibility, or maybe a slight possibility, but a super long shot. All of a sudden, he plays 46 minutes. So just keep that in mind when you're filling out your lineups. But over onto the Bucks side of the ball, we have similar stuff. Yes, you can play Giannis. Obviously, I prefer Giannis more than James Harden and his limp, and I possibly prefer more than Durant. I don't want to say that fully, but we'll see how Durant's feeling pregame and all that, because that is a lot of minutes to be playing just the other night. Giannis himself played 42, but he has played all year pretty much. He didn't miss a large chunks of the season, and he isn't coming off a torn Achilles not too long ago. They are also home, and they also need this game badly. But if we're to believe Giannis and we're to believe Coach Bud wants to make a slight change, he should be seeing primarily Kevin Durant. Obviously, in today's day and age in the NBA, there are switches galore. But last game, they didn't really switch the Nets when they were coming back. It was a lot of give the ball to Durant, get the I won't say the word on the podcast, but get out of the way and let him do work. And if that is the case, and that happens a lot, I don't know why Giannis wouldn't be the primary defender on him. I don't know why they wouldn't want them to make the Nets have to switch. If they're going to do it anyway, just force them to have to do it and waste some valuable time on the shot clock to get that done. But I will see what happens. Right now, if he's not expending a ton of energy on defense guarding the best offensive player in the league, then yes, I am fine with going to Giannis. Outside of that, I think you can look at Middleton. He shot pretty poor from the field, but that was to be expected. He is much better, as I keep saying, he's much better at home than he is on the road. And if you want the evidence, just look at this series alone. First game 1 in Brooklyn, he shot 6 of 23, 26%. Game 2, 7 of 20, shot 35%. Game 3 at home, 48%, 12 of 25. Game 4, 47%, 7 of 15. And they won pretty solidly, so they didn't have to play a ton of minutes. Game 5, 8 of 22, 36%. You go to his splits all year, he's shooting 50% at home, under 44% at home or on the road, 35% from 3 at home or on the road, nearly 47% at home. It's just night and day, and I keep coming back to that. I don't mind going to Chris Middleton if you want some cheaper exposure, especially if Giannis is going to exert a lot of energy. You can potentially get a 50-plus point guy for nearly 3K or 2.5K, possibly 3K or close to 3K less. And I like going there. Lets you have more money to play with on the rest of your lineup. Outside of him, something's got to give with Coach Bud and Drew Holiday. I don't know why he's not seeing 40-plus minutes in every game this series. There is a reason why they traded Eric Bledsoe. There's a reason why they brought him in. He's looking an awful lot like Eric Bledsoe did in the playoffs in this series in particular. But this guy should be playing 40 minutes. There's no reason James Harden should be playing over 12 minutes more than this guy when he shouldn't even have been out there. Never mind playing 12 more minutes, an entire quarter more than Drew Holiday. But I guess we'll have to see with Coach Bud, but I am looking to try and potentially get him in my lineup. I would prefer Middleton for only $100 more. If I have the money, I'll try and get Drew in there too, but Middleton is the guy that I'm targeting the most over here. And we'll see what happens with Giannis. A lot of this has to do with Coach Bud's unwillingness for the last couple years to just play his guys a ton of minutes. Usually it's in the regular season and in the playoffs we say, okay, he's going to have to. I mean, why not? But he's still hesitant to give them everything they have. In a pivotal Game 5, I would expect them all to play as many as they can handle. What are you resting your guys for if you can't win that game? But outside of that, Brook Lopez might be a guy that you can fall into. He is kind of getting exposed. He shouldn't have been out there so long in the last game, but he is playing in the 30s the last 3 games, and he's been bringing back rock solid fantasy points throughout the series. Nothing under 23, which he scored in the last game, and 31.25 is his high. So pretty much near value or slight value, and even on a showdown slate, he's hitting near value, which is really solid because on a showdown slate, everybody's price gets slightly jumped up there. So we do like some Brook Lopez if we can afford him, when we probably should be able to. Pat Connaughton, another guy, super cheap, only 2,800 in this. He played 32 minutes in the last one, 22 in the game before that. So he's playing a lot of minutes, and minutes equal money, and you're not going to find that many people under 3K that play a lot. And there is another one, though, and his name is PJ Tucker. Doesn't have the upside that Connaughton has. $400 cheaper, you might have to just fit him in there. He could be one of your last guys if you don't have a lot of money. But again, he's going to be playing a decent chunk of minutes there, around 30, maybe a couple more, maybe a couple less. But 2,400, you can do worse, especially when this team is now at home. I would prefer Connaughton. He has the upside and he can get his own shot sometimes. But PJ Tucker you might fall into as well. Outside of that, not huge on anybody, but I am intrigued to see what happens with Bobby Portis, who has barely played in this playoffs, but he was an integral part of this team throughout the year. So I am curious to see if he gets to hit the 20-minute mark on this. Maybe they do take out Brook Lopez a little bit and play more Bobby Portis, get a little bit more physical in there. But we'll see exactly what happens, because Lopez did seem at times that he could not move laterally with the Nets. So we'll see if maybe they play a little bit more Bobby Portis. He's only 1,800. I don't hate taking that plunge. I do want to hear some reports before that, because he hasn't hit the 20-minute mark in a while. Since in pretty much this entire playoffs, he hasn't hit it. So we'll see if that continues. But he's a guy that I am keeping my eye on. But that does it. That's it for this slate. 1-game slate, showdown slate that we continue to get. And we will continue to get them as we can get further into the playoffs. I guess we can do I can do my favorite tiers. There isn't that many to talk about. Only 2 teams, and we are on 1 game here, but I'll just use everybody's utility prices. My favorite spend up of the night, I guess. I won't cop out and say Durant. I'll go with Chris Middleton for the reasons I mentioned of why I like him. He's just much better at home. They need him to score. He is one of the few people that can actually shoot on this team, and they really need him if they want to get this to a Game 7. With Durant and Harden playing so many minutes in the last one, maybe they are a little bit tired, a little bit more fatigued in this, and Middleton can have a little bit more room to operate. And if he's hitting his shots, which he does tend to do at home, should hit value and exceed value here. So I like him the most for a price down option than Durant and Giannis, and I'm not going to look at Harden, but the other 2 guys. My favorite mid-tier play of the night. I guess I'll lower the standards for the mid-tier because there really isn't many, but Jeff Green just makes obvious sense. Usually under 5K we do value, but I'll say he's my favorite mid-tier. Guy played 27 minutes in his first game back in 3 weeks, and then played 35 in the last one, and made 8 of 11 from the field, 7 of 8 from 3. Do I expect him to drop 27 points again? No. But do I expect him to put around 20-plus fantasy points up? Yes, I do. If he's going to be playing 30 minutes again, why not? He has shown the ability to get some fantasy numbers up there, and he's been very reliable. All right, and my favorite value play of the night, I guess Connaughton at 2,800, super cheap. Again, I dropped the price of the value tier since it's only 1 game, but he's been playing a decent chunk of minutes. He's played 54 minutes in the last 2 games. That's good enough for me at under 3K. has 49 total fantasy points in those 2 games, and that's just bringing back value there. But if we're going super, super, super dirt cheap, then I'm looking at Bobby Portis under 2K for the reasons I mentioned on why I'm intrigued by him. I want to see if it's the time that Coach Bud makes some changes and maybe he gets more minutes at center. Maybe they just go bigger. Whatever the case may be, I'm intrigued to see if he's going to get 20 minutes, and if he does, 1,800 should be easy money for him. But again, that's not a guarantee, and that's why he's a super dirt cheap flyer there. That does it for today's podcast. Thank you guys, as always, for tuning in. Good luck, and we will catch you again tomorrow. I believe it will be Dave and Will. Dave and Will be doing our couple games on Friday. Thank you. Have a good night. Peace.
Nobody builds 5G like Verizon builds 5G, because we're the engineers who built the most reliable network in America. And the more you do with 5G, the more building it right matters. The more your network matters. The more Verizon engineers going the extra mile matters. It's us pushing us. It's Verizon versus Verizon. 5G built right from America's most reliable network. Most reliable based on rankings from RootMetrics second half 2020 U.S. report of 3 mobile networks. Results may vary. Award is not an endorsement.
Want to improve your self-confidence? We recommend Short North Dental for your whitening, tightening, and brightening needs. From cleanings to Botox, treat yourself to a great smile. Check out the newest gallery in the Arts District at shortnorthdental.com, because dentistry has never looked this good.